enjoy poker a bit. Like bring back the old timers like me and have fun with the game. I know what they're doing, you know. I know what they're thinking. I've thought of everything they have. I have forgotten everything they know.
All they keep saying on social media is you're really unfair to a personal assistant. That's all people keep saying.
Oh, mate, you've got the Tony Resort open to pillaging.
Race 225.
You know you have it. You have the Tony Resort, unlimited drinks. You have Nordas protecting you at night.
Call.
And now, I don't know even that you should never drink on the job. And where's your tie? Wear your tie and be presentable.
Well, okay, I came and stayed at Tony Resort and you had a key to my room.
25.
Yeah, but someone has to protect you. I gave you a room next to my room. Yeah, everyone's protecting you, Warren.
Yeah, he's like, no,
Three players.
cracking the table.
500.
500.
Just because it's one chip. And I don't even have an ace. There you go. I don't have an ace.
And
I
what is it
guarantee
about these big game cash games that
I
he
don't
just
have an
seems to
ace,
always
Warren.
do
How
well,
about that?
or
I don't
almost
have an ace
always?
and I'm
Hey,
happy
Tony.
with it.
Yeah.
He just riles people up and forces them to make big
If he's
mistakes.
going to call, I know he has an
Call.
ace.
You know, puts people off the game and unsettles them and
How much do
has
you
his
have?
own way of doing it.
This is 7, about 8.
Alright. You want to do something crazy?
What's that?
I mean, I know you got an ace now. But is the kicker good?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, wow.
1500.
1500.
It's one of those pots where you're going to chop.
He
What
actually
do you
plays
do?
his hand quite well, man, Davey, right? Because he knows that he's
Chop, chop, they say.
if Tony's bluffing, he has to just call. He can't raise,
of
right?
course. I'll actually just call here and
Don't
just
go
hope
all
a high card comes off and then
That's
try and,
cool.
ship to
I'm
get him
going
off
to
an
go
ace
all in on
two.
the river, no matter what happens. There you go. That way I'm showing commitment.
It doesn't really matter, does
No,
it?
it would have gone.
I got, you got to beat 4 sixes. Can you do that?
4 6s.
Yeah, you got to beat 4 sixes. Can you beat 4 sixes? All right, fold your hand. Fold it, fold it. Get rid of it.
Oh, wow.
Get
slow
rid of it.
rolling.
I'm not lying. Come on. Do you trust me? Fold it, please, for me. Show me some confidence. You can't do it.
It's a 20,000 pot. He's
No,
giving
no,
him the
no.
rub down with that.
He's bet 60,000 as
Yeah.
well.
I'm a genuine guy. Come on, I'm a stand-up guy. I told you you have an ace, right? I told you all the way where we were. We always knew where we were.
He plays crazy, guys. This is
He reminds me of the English guy in the World Series.
Surprised we don't see more stalling, to be honest.
What's his name?
Surprised we don't see more
after Herb. Hem.
John Hesp.
John Asp.
Yeah, John Noel definitely will be raising up from a lot of places you're not supposed to. But look at this, Nick with Ace King raises the button. Jake defends with Queen 8 and Ace 8-6 the flop. Jake looking to do a few chips in this pot, you'd think.
125.
He's gonna check or
175.
bet it even. He bets, but Jake is not gonna give up. He's gonna see a turn card.
Jake also good stare down here, stares him down, and he's gonna call. And then on the turn it's gonna interesting. Nick is obviously gonna bet again.
He's gonna hit the queen first.
You're back again. Are we having a redraw for tomorrow? No,
we keep the same place.
Same position.
Same position for tomorrow,
Okay.
and after we draw at 9.
Okay, I see.
Takes his
So
time.
we're gonna continue.
And he does eventually make the call.
Cool.
240,000 was the bet. Ow! Wow!
Hello.
What a turn for Jake.
Hello. Magic 8.
And again, he's just going to check and let Nick hang himself here most of the time, right, guys?
Yeah, I
Well-
don't know if you're supposed to bet out here sometimes, maybe. How much behind? 3 million?
I think you alarm people when you bet out. Or you just put a stop bet, so you encourage them to raise you with an ace.
Yeah, but he's gonna
Like-
lead
like-
on. Let's see what
like
he does.
this.
No, he's gonna make a
Yeah.
proper bet here.
It's gonna encourage him.
Yep, 575 the bet.
This
Sizes
is gonna
up nicely
get
for river shove.
This is gonna get really interesting because I can see if Nick is gonna call here on the river. It's gonna go. It's gonna get expensive here. I think it's probably gonna go all in because it's
Yep.
1.9 now in the middle
Yep.
and 2.4 behind. There's one move for Mr. Jake Schindler.
Wow!
Oh, definitely.
That is curtain.
Look, Jake looking like
Jake Schindler, runner quads.
He's
Nick,
gonna
of
shove
course,
it now.
Full house now.
you think he's gonna get him to make an instant call here. I mean,
I don't know. Check is quite risky.
there's two hands he can lose from, quads or full house aces. Other than that, he's like
Crushing, probably.
It's interesting. I mean, if he shoves here, what's? I mean, is checking better? Does he
If you, I mean, if you check here, you get 7-9 and a 9-10 float, maybe to bluff. Yeah, but you lose out on getting called by.
He does move all in.
You miss out on getting called by the flush and the ace. And if you check, the ace might check behind.
he cannot go nowhere with his stack is too small now for the pot. He think he's trying to force him out. He's most times
Well, he does make the call.
Yeah, of course.
Quads
He's-
are
he's-
usually good in the game of Texas Hold'em. In this situation, no different.
GG, Nicky P.
Yeah, good luck, boys.
Jake takes out another ace king. That battle was fun. It was just so fast paced. And obviously end up winning a pretty unlikely flip, 10-8 suited against Siva Duar's fives, getting 30 bigs in each. As well, Sean finds another big hand, queens in the hijack, 90,000. And well, Makita with nines in the next seat. What do we like here, guys?
What are the blinds 40?
The big blind is 40k, yeah.
Makita's going to call.
That's what I would have said as well.
All right, let's see, Toby. Every time we say we get it wrong. So let's.
I do. I seem to get it wrong every single time.
Let's see if these guys can make Dan look silly as well. Makita does. Cool. Wow, Nick, ace king in the small blind. Some big hands clashing on this final table.
3-9.
What's that?
3-9.
He's going to re-raise, and Winter's going to mix it up between 4-bet and call. Winter plays pretty goofy relative to most no-limit players.
Right, okay.
Not necessarily even a bad way, but he plays differently.
A big 3-bet it is, 475. Obviously a function of being out of position and there being Makita in between who was flat.
The big size makes it hard to 4-bet not all in. It's a strong play. The downside is you make your price a lot worse. Like for a non-all-in 4-bet, like you can make it like 1.1, but it's fucking murky. Oh, should I not be swearing?
Well, look at this. He does go 1.1.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you can do it, and like queens is one of the hands that you can do it with.
Are you?
But
it's kind of surprising how quickly he did it there. Like it's. I mean, I know you guys obviously focus a lot on being balanced, not just in play, but in timing. But it seems that if he was going to make a bluff here, it would take a little bit more time to kind of think that one through.
Sean is very good at the live element, and that is someone who I wouldn't try to get in his head with that sort of thing.
Okay.
You feel like he balances that stuff out pretty well?
Not even necessarily balance. He's just a tricky guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's totally capable of just thinking like, okay.
Well, look at this. Nick moves all in. Sean calls, and we have a ginormous pot on the final table. 8.1 million chip flip. Well, Sean said it wouldn't take too long to get to 6. He called it himself. It won't take long to get to the final 6. He's going to hope he's wrong here, as he is at risk with those pocket queens. If he were to double up, would take a very commanding chip position here. Nick, of course, would be left with still 5 million, very comfortable. Well, queen in the window, pretty good start, and the queen behind it as well. There we go. That is the end of this one. Nick starts paying it out.
All my equity. Pretty sure I got all my equity back.
Easy game. Well, I for one am glad that it didn't get to the final 6 now, so we just got Dan in the booth. It'd be pretty short-lived stint with us.
3, 5.
Guys, if you are watching and do want to fire any questions to Toby or Dan, please do
65.
put them in the chat and we'll try and...
Which I like.
Oh, the flop comes ace, ace-7. Trips for Bicknell, but a full house for Michael Zhang.
And the good luck bigger stack holds here. Bad news for Kristen that she's short too. It's tough to navigate out of this hand still having some chips.
Not much room to get away. Zhang is going to fire here. Bicknell just calls.
Oh my God.
Quads! Four aces for Kristen Bicknell against the now aces full of 7s for Michael Zhang.
Tough for Kristen to get any more chips though, really. He's like, okay, I have most of the 7s.
She comes in for the raise now with the quads.
And check raising quads may seem a bit strange, but she's out of position and she's going to have a hard time getting any more money in on the river.
Figure she'd try to get some here. Pretty quick fold from Zhang.
And for the times you get 4-bet or just called, you can play it a lot easier.
Ace in the window. It comes ace 7-7. How about that?
I told you I love this call with ace 7 suited by the main event champion. He just knows when he's going to flop full houses.
Intuition.
Just knows he's going to outflop the 2 jacks. Makes it look so easy.
Grafton leads for 300K.
Let's watch the master, huh? Look at this. Little eye contact, little smirk.
Makes the call. Another ace on the turn.
And now, this is ridiculous because it's going to be hard for Grafton to think, all right, what aces would Hossein call me with pre that he's not 3-betting? Would he really call with ace X suited? The answer is maybe yes some of the time. Hossein's sort of an old school player, goes with his gut.
Check on the turn. Oh yeah, just quads on the river for the World Series of Poker main event champion.
What in the world? This is why you call with ace 7 suited free. Look at this board.
Aces full of jacks
Grafton has
for Grafton. It's
absolutely
quads for Hossein Ensan.
Absolutely no reason to believe that his hand isn't best. He's going to try and get value from worse full houses.
Yeah, we thought a pretty good flop for Hossein. 7's full, then he turned to aces full, then he rivered quads.
Look at this, the overbet $2 million. We know Hossein is simply going to put it in, and Grafton is going to have to shrug it. Say, what in the world?
How many people are going to make quads on me today?
The shove is for a bit over 3.4 million.
Every ace in the deck, nearly every 7 in the deck.
You have to call.
How much? So 1.4 million.
Yeah.
So 1.4.
Rough start for Sam Grafton. He's run into some hands to begin day 3. Does use a time extension.
I'm so happy when that ace came up.
There's just no bluffs here.
You heard Grafton.
No
he was
fold
thrilled
equity.
when that ace popped up. To
for
your
sure.
point,
In his
on the river.
mind, he was value betting against worse full
The
houses.
only thing is you're such an animal, you might actually bluff here. Like, you might think it's a chop.
You can see after 30 minutes how forward.
He's way too happy.
Okay, great. How bad do I run? That was the time bank I did.
Another one.
Another time bank used.
That's a big, it's a bit greedy for me.
Does toss it into the muck.
Boss, just, I can't look. I can't look. You can look.
All I can
say
is I didn't see the hand.
Only for you.
I heard a big.
After this, I think 6 levels on day 1. I'm saying all this guessing. I could just check on the Party Poker Live website and have a look. So we just
Yeah, I'm willing. I would love to come back later if.
Oh, we'd love to have you. I know you obviously got to play that satellite.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, you get when you reg at the end, you get 25 big blinds, so I might be done in a single hand, but maybe not.
Ludo then taking a few hands off, raises from the hijack. Zhao with ace, jack of diamonds behind him in the cutoff.
Come on, boys. This is to me, this is a flat calling hand.
Yeah, but these guys are
Super
playing
ag.
different today.
Yep, and
there we go. It does cool.
To me, this is a flat calling hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's the hand.
I think it's a bit of a mix. Like, I think I don't think you should be flatting every time, but I think it's just a really nice spot to be flatting because you can withstand 3 bets from behind still a bit, and when you do 3-bet and face resistance, you're not liking your hand so much.
Right,
but when you call, you're kind of liking it no matter what happens, I feel like.
And crucially, you're keeping Ludo in here with ace-7 off when you do have
Yeah.
ace-jack. So. Wow!
It's always coming to 7s.
Look at Ludo's face.
I
He's like,
made
really?
quad 7s also myself today. Like,
and he's look at his shirt. He's got 7-7 on the shirt. There's the clue.
Whoa.
It's all there. The signs all point
to quads.
Well, look at his face. He's like, hang on, do I really... This is what you're going, did I remember my hand wrong? Do I have ace-8? Did I get that wrong? Does it really come 7-7-7?
I don't know if I would have checked. He's got a good rep to have, like, to be bluffing potentially. Like,
right.
Most people...
It's a good flop for the pre-flop raiser.
Yeah, and most people wouldn't be able to bluff this flop too much because they're... I don't know what I was going to say. Don't ignore that train of thought.
I think I understand where you're going. They're not going to bluff too much because the pre-flop raiser is going to bluff a lot. So when he checks, he probably has a hand that's not going to give up just yet.
This is very interesting, because like if you're going to have some bluffs in there, this is a good one to bet. And when Zhao calls pre-flop, when people do this, they get sticky on the flop. Like, even if they have like King Jack suited, they love to float you because they're just, firstly, they're gonna have a lot of pocket pairs, so they can just represent that they've got a full house on the turn potentially, and you just have position, so you can just, and you're against a player who can have a lot of hands. Let's see how this plays out anyway. I'd be surprised if Zhao keeps betting this. He's kind of doing what Manic. He was doing what Manic was doing earlier with the ace-10 suited, where you're kind of betting your hand, not as a bluff, not not quite for value, more for just protection, because you feel like I've got the best hand now, and I'd rather take the pot than
face a tough decision.
Than stuff getting really weird. There is a lot of that in poker where you're just like, oh, I really don't want this to get really weird, so I'm just going to check.
3 of spades on the river. See no improvement for Zhao. Ludo sitting there pretty with quads.
See, like, what hands do you have that you can have as bluffs right now?
Right, this is the problem. He's check called the flop.
You check call the flop.
When he could just easily
what are you
bet
going
the
to
flop.
turn into a bluff? You've check called king queen suited, and now you've just decided that I have to bluff this.
Well,
this might actually get paid though, honestly,
enough.
because Zhao's going to be like, what the heck is going on? What hands would you check call the flop with? I don't understand why you check call the flop.
Right.
Him and Luke made good folds.
No payoff.
Right, I've got to go.
Well, thank you, Tommy.
Pleasure.
I understand you've got to register this satellite.
Yep.
But, well, hopefully we don't see you later. But
Maybe we'll come back.
To him, he would have snapped ace king, obviously, wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, obviously. But that's the sort of thing, if you're going to, like...
I kind of thought he was bluffing the whole hand.
Well, he kind of was.
Yeah, I know, but then, so I thought about flatting, but I thought it was much more likely to.
You're saying you had
There's so much money in the middle, isn't there? With,
Yeah. He's basically screaming.
He could have showed me aces, but so what? I'll get there.
Raise to 8.
I'll get there. Oh.
Go.
Actually, I better look first. A bit more expensive there. Level 3, that's a bit more.
Go.
He didn't lose a chip on the floor. I thought I saw one go.
I don't think so.
We're checking.
Yeah. I don't think it did.
Looks like my plug.
$18. Pass. $42. Cool. Check. $63. all in.
I have quads.
And a call.
Oh, bloody hell. Wow. Can you imagine in the commentary box? Oh my God, what a cooler. Unbelievable. Andrew, that is so thick. That is so thick. God, that's so thick. God almighty. I thought you had the 9.
I thought you had a queen.
Yeah. Nice betting.
I thought they both had a queen.
Really nice betting. That's great betting with quads.
Jolo, pocket tens. Well, I was about to say though, like my experience playing with Joe is he is very much on the aggressive side and does decide to 3-bet on the button, and Craig finds jacks in the small. This is a much different series. This is a pretty easy jam, right? Because Joe does have a 3-bet fold range that's not huge, but is substantial.
Definitely is.
And it's such a huge pickup. 56 million chips already in the pot before it gets to Craig. He can increase his stack by a third if this jam gets through.
Yeah, I mean, this is a no-brainer shove. And if Joseph has it, then nice hand.
This is going to be a pretty horrible spot when it comes to...
Oh, wow, he's going to lay it down!
No, don't do it.
Oh, you can't do it,
He's got to do it now. He's done that body language.
Yeah. Oh! He got us. He got us.
Wow. He learned for the fold and then changed. Now, what
this is so gross.
So I say this is a gross spot for Joe.
I think one aspect that makes us more inclined to fold here is the fact that all the stacks are super close, but he's called it off.
He has called, and Craig's going to be delighted to see it is against pocket tens. All of a sudden, we have a, I think a chip lead pot. Constantine may be a little bit ahead of that, actually, but this will be a check. I like that.
Joseph's
do you have me
fuming here.
Do you have me covered? Joe's like, just shut up, mate. Come
just
on.
leave me alone.
I've just called it off. I've got 7 bigs behind if I lose.
Oh, that's very, very tough spot here.
Jack in the window's a good start. And another jack behind.
The drama here at the final.
Because the Jack of Hearts. The Jack of Hearts, there were plenty of cards that could give Joe some outs, but, well, another jack behind, not the one.
Oh, poor Joseph, look how he wants.
He wants to go back.
This was the final table of, this is now the first big win she ever had, and Tony G at this final table in the World Open, and she puts a great beat on. That's Johnny Houston, Texas Johnny. He's a great character for a couple of years in televised poker as well. Had a bunch of success.
Yeah, I played with him a few times. Seen him recently, actually, at the UK IPT. Had a drink with him.
It seemed like these tournaments in those days, there were so many great characters from the Midlands that used to come up and play in these tournaments. That whole scene, like.
Yeah, there's definitely way more Northern and Midland players playing on the TV anyway. Look at all the characters with the cowboy hats and the big rings and stuff.
Cool.
I love the way Tony G sits when he plays poker.
And he just flats here, letting Pippa in, which is, I guess, pretty fine on a final like this. But
looks like a mob boss, doesn't he, the way he sits down?
I kind of feel like he was just developing his personality back in this time. These final tables were so big to him back then, you know, to try and... He hadn't really had any big wins, really, at that stage.
Bit much, sorry.
Sorry, bless her.
Of course, you all expect, everyone's expecting the Tony G blow up here. I think he...
Pass. And a call.
He gets really frustrated.
Yes.
Wow, very good. Should have folded. Says he should have folded.
I slow played him.
You always feel dumb when you slow play and then they flop a better hand than you, but I think it's just a little bit unlucky. There's nothing we can really have done differently.
No. And he was ended up being the first player out on this final table after I think being one of the chip leaders.
Well done.
He can't even find his way up the door. He's just stunned.
Well done.
This way, Tony.
Okay.